Good day, TLC family. It's so great to be reconnected to you again. I'm CJ Nunag and I bring greetings from the Philippines. I've been a pastor for around 17 years now, but then again, that's not the most important part of my life. I've been married to my very beautiful wife, and this is who she is. Her name is Mai. For the past 13 years, that has been the greatest 13 years of my life, and I hope she also feels the same. But we've been so much blessed with two wonderful children. My eldest child, his name is Samuel. He's 11 years old now, and he's so fascinated about Lego and Minecraft. He thinks very scientifically. He loves to solve problems from science to math and everything else in between. And my daughter's name is Elizabeth. She's 8 years old. Now, she's the more creative one in our family. She loves to sing, draw, paint, and dance. In fact, one of the best blessings of coming home every night is that we would find letters written for us coming from our daughter and also occasionally coming from our son. Now, our family has had so much desire to advance God's kingdom here in the Philippines. We're very happy being here, located in the University Belt. One of the things that we love to do together is travel and explore the Philippines. We love to go to go to the beaches here, in cold places as well. Well, I guess not as cold as what you guys have there, but like for example in Baguio, if most of you would know that, it goes down to around maybe 16 to 17 degrees Celsius, but it's not that very cold. But we love cold places as well. So that's from my family end. Now, I've been a pastor of Victory. This is the name of our church for the past 17 years, like what I said earlier. And our greatest desire has always been to honor God and make disciples. We wanted to honor God in everything that we do. We wanted to make sure that there's no one else that gets honored, not the pastors, not the movement, not the structure, not the denomination. It's not the no, but it's actually the honor and glory of God. That's the most important thing for us. Now we're so privileged to pastor this church here in, we call them Victory U Belt, connoting and signifying our location, which is Victory in the University Belt. Now this church has been around for the past 34 years. This is the first Victory in the Philippines that has ever been started. And 34 years later, we now have about 15 other locations here in Metro Manila, plus around 80 in the provinces all across the Philippines. And we've been blessed with the vision of reaching out to students, discipling students while they're young, believing that campus ministry is the way to change the world. In fact, we have a motto which we call Change the Campus, Change the World. And right here in U Belt in itself, within 10-kilometer radius, we're probably surrounded by around 350,000 students. I guess, yeah, you heard that right. 350,000 university, college, and high school students. And this is what makes life very, very exciting for me and my entire family. Regarding the church, we've just been pastoring this church for roughly around less than 2 years. Before that, we've worked as the national director of our campus ministry here in Victory, which we've called Every Nation Campus. And one of the highlights that we have for this year is that we're believing for more leaders. We want to make sure that we grow the right way. You know, we've decided that the pathway towards growing the church is through discipleship and not just the weekly church attendance. So currently, our average attendance has been growing very fast. It has grown by around 10% last year, about 15% from the previous year. But what we've noticed is that the number of small group leaders or victory group leaders, as what we call it, has been declining. So we've decided that this year our focus would be to raise the number of victory group leaders that we have so that we could actually have enough net, if I may use that word, to catch all the harvest that's coming in. And February has always been one of the best times for us to invite more people, especially being in a place like this, surrounded by a lot of young people, surrounded by a lot of young people, you can't help but for them to be enamored about love. And as we've discussed about love for the past 3 weeks, we've literally seen thousands of new people being invited in our services. And not just that, but about a couple of hundreds of salvation. Now, the real challenge for us is to actually get them in to our discipleship groups, small groups, so that they could be discipled there, and at some point they could be raised as a leader as well. Now, when you are in ministry, we understand that there are a lot of challenges. And the same is true with life. There could be a lot of challenges in life. But one of the things that could always carry you through is your joy. Your joy when it comes to serving Jesus, the joy of understanding and knowing that Jesus Christ died for you on the cross, that He's the one who made a way for you to be where you are right now. In fact, if we're going to take a look at the real picture, we're never qualified to be in a relationship with Jesus Christ because of our sin. And yet He was the one who qualified us to be in a relationship with Him by dying on the cross. And whatever it is that you're doing now, you may be in ministry, you may be working in business, and sometimes we could attribute a lot of these things, the success we're experiencing towards us. But in reality, it's actually Jesus, it's actually God through the gifts that He has given you, who has qualified you by His grace. In fact, one of the verses that I really love regarding joy, and some people would not find this very encouraging, but I really get encouraged by this. In James chapter 1, verses 2 and 3, it says here, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance." And it went on and described how a Christian journey most of the time looks like. Now, I like the thought that it says here that the testing of your faith, that the trials that we're facing, the challenges we're facing, tests our faith. In fact, that's the same kind of experience that my wife and I had, my family had, upon transferring and pastoring the church we're pastoring now. There were several challenges. One, because the church has really grown so much. So sometimes I feel like maybe it's hard to slide in and build relationship with people. Or maybe I've not pastored the church before. I was a campus missionary for a long time, although they called me pastor there. But I've not like literally taken on a church. And my first time to do it would already be like a big scale church. So sometimes the challenges that I'm facing would be, would I be able to do this? Is it possible for me to do this? Is it possible for me to carry it through, make it through? And I realized that these challenges, the answer to them is not to work harder, although we need to work harder. It's not to rely more on our talents and skills, although, you've been blessed with such great talents and skills. But it's really to go back to Jesus, the one who qualified you, the one who called you. And this is when I would consider these trials as becoming something that you could be totally joyful about. Sometimes when you say and hear the word joy, the only thing we could remember actually is the emotion that goes with it, that I am so joyful. But sometimes what we don't understand is that it goes through a process. What we're up for in our Christian walk is not just temporary happiness, but what we want is the kind of joy that lasts, the kind of peace that lasts despite of our situation. And with that, I just want to say, you guys have the potential to experience God's joy amidst the challenges, amidst the trial, amidst persecution, and everything else in between that you're encountering in your walk of faith. Now, we are supposed to expect them. But another thing we could expect is that we could be victorious over these things because Jesus Christ is with us. Thank you so much once again, and it's always a pleasure to be connected to you. On behalf of us here in Victory in the Philippines, I just want to say thank you. And not just that, but I want to say thank you to your leaders. The leadership of Pastor Nani and the rest of the elders there has been such a great blessing to me personally and the ministry that we have here. God bless you all. I hope to see you at some point personally, maybe this coming August or September. God bless you all. Bye.